Hi students, how are we doing today? Today we're going to go over how to use the Carbonin formula by Justin Yeager. The Carbonin formula, what is that? Is that just a really hard word to spell and awkward in math? Oh my gosh. Why use the Carbonin formula? You need to know your target heart rate. If you know your target heart rate, then you can maximize your workouts by putting your heart in its heart rate training zone. This helps your heart perform the best and you perform the best. It's easy. Here's how. First, we're going to start with 220. That's just the magical number the scientists came up with. And then you're going to subtract your age to get your maximum heart rate. Let's say, for example, you're 17 years old. So 220 minus 17 is 203. That is your maximum heart rate. What is your maximum heart rate? Well, your maximum heart rate is the fastest your heart can beat in one given minute. Really simple. So your heart should not be able to beat more than 203 times a minute. Okay, now we need to identify your resting heart rate. Find your pulse. There are two places you can find your pulse. One is right on the bottom of your jaw, then the top of your neck. The other is right on your wrist. Go ahead and try and find your pulse now. Great, awesome. Hopefully you found it by now. Now, we're going to count the number of beats you feel in your pulse for 15 seconds. A good hint is to have someone count for you on the seconds, so start now. Okay, and stop. That was 15 seconds. So how many beats did you have? Like I said, a tip is to have someone count for you, just like I did. Okay. Let's say you counted it 17 times in 15 seconds. Well, you need to know how many heartbeats you feel that you have in a minute. Now, so 15 seconds is only a quarter of a minute. So 17 times 4 will give you beats per minute. So 17 times 4 is roughly 68. I did round that number. That is your resting heart rate. That is how fast your heart is beating in 1 minute while you are resting. So we're going to go back to this equation. 220 minus 17 is 203. Now we're going to go with our maximum heart rate minus our resting heart rate, and that's going to give us the magical number of 135. Now we're going to multiply 135 by 70%. And the scientists say that your heart working at 70% of its max, or not of its max, but 70%, this is the magical number they came up with, is the high training zone. So this is the high target area that you want your heart to be working at. So we're going to multiply that by 135 by 0.7 and we get 95. Now we have to add back our resting heart rate and the number we get is 163. So if all these numbers were for you, 163 would be the high end of your training zone. Now, to get the low end, we multiply it by 0.60. That equals 81. 81 plus your resting heart rate would be 149. And this is the low end of your target zone. It's either called target or training. It's really interchangeable. Would be 149. So if you were working out, you would want your heart rate to stay between 163 and 149. And that is beats per minute. That is your target heart rate zone. Wow, was that easy? It really is that easy. You can do it while you're at the gym to see what your target. Now that you know what your zone is, when you're at the gym, you can feel your heartbeats. Whatever you get, multiply times 4, and then you know if you're in your zone or not. So let's review. 220 minus your age, you'll get 203. Find your resting heart rate now. So we got 17 in 15 seconds. Multiply that times 4, we get 68. Now we throw 68 into this equation. 135 times 0.70 or 0.60. Add all that up, we get 163 or 149. And there's our zone. Okay. Now you know how to find your target heart rate. And here are the formulas. 220 minus your age will give you your maximum heart rate. Max heart rate minus your resting heart rate will give you a number. Let's call it Z. Z times 0.60 will give you your low end. That'll give you some number, Y. Y plus your resting heart rate will give you your target heart rate zone, but the low end. So, again, if we have Z times 0.70, will give you your high end, Y. Now, plus your resting heart rate will give you your target heart rate zone for the high. If you have any more questions or you want to learn more about it, go ahead and scan the QR code and that will take you to a website, a YouTube video that will walk you through what we just went through. Alright class, hope you guys learned something great today, and let's make sure we use your target heart rate zone because it is very important when you're working out.